Hey guys, today I'm super excited to talk to you about Netflix's new film, Wendell and Wild. Now, this is from the brilliant mind of Henry Selick, which you can tell literally just by looking at it, and it also has the reunion of comedic duo Key and Peele. Now, let's dive into my spoiler-free review, but before we do, if this is your first time here, I'd love it if you take 1 second and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Okay, let's talk about Wendell and Wild. Okay, so I've got to start off by saying that this is a very dark story. And if you know me, you know I love dark stories. I mean, obviously, just by looking at it, you can tell it has that gorgeous stop animation that we are so very used to when it comes to Henry Selick's work. I'm talking things like Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, Frankenweenie, like all of that. It's very much a similar animation style, okay? That's clear just from looking at the images that were released as well as the trailer. Now, the story itself deals with trauma and tragedy and death, kind of like dealing with, making deals with demons, because that's what happens, okay? So Kat, very early on, her parents die. This isn't a spoiler. This happens like immediately. And as with any child who literally watches their parents die in front of them and loses them, it maybe will mess you up just a little bit. So this leads her down a very dark path where she ends up in jail. We see her at the beginning of this film getting released from jail and going to an all-girls Catholic school where she meets some people. She does not want to open up to them because, of course, she's very guarded with the way her life is. She blames herself for her parents' deaths. She's very down on herself, and she's not a nice person, but she's especially not nice to herself either. So eventually she ends up making a deal with the demons, Wendell and Wild, to bring her parents back to life, and well, you can imagine things get pretty dark and grim from there. Yes, we do see skeletons. We do see people being raised from the dead. This is, known pretty much from the trailer and images as well. It's intense, but it's amazing. It's beautiful to watch, and the story is very interesting. Like I said, it's pretty captivating right from the beginning. It does lose itself a little bit in the middle, though. Every single person pretty much has their own story going on, old plot points, and while that usually really works, it's just very convoluted, and there's a lot going on that kind of drags things out. It makes the movie feel longer than it is. In all honesty, when the movie ended, I was like, wow, that was over 2 hours long. That's kind of long for something like this. And I looked and it was an hour and 46 minutes. So I was like, oh, that's not very good. So there were moments where I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I checked my watch a couple times wondering like when we were gonna wrap things up, when we were gonna get to it. Now, that's not to say it's bad overall, because I did really enjoy it, and everything does tie together perfectly in the end. You get some great lessons, of course, important lessons for the whole family, but it is a very enjoyable movie. That's its biggest downfall, is it does drag quite a bit. Just kind of they're convoluting it and sticking a whole lot of stuff in there that maybe wasn't necessary. Like Wendell and Wild even have their own story. It's a lot going on. There's the underworld story. It's a lot. I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that is its biggest fault by far. Still, you've got the hilarious comedic duo of Key and Peele, who are so funny in every single scene that they're in. It's an absolute joy to see them or hear them rather, back together again. I can only imagine that like the majority of what they said was improv. It's so much fun. It's an absolute blast. The main actress is very good as well, Lyric Ross. She's amazing as Kat. Everyone is so good in this. The voice acting, Angela Bassett, of course, is incredible. I mean, everyone is so good that they really bring these characters to life and help you relate to them. Even when they're not nice people, you can still kind of relate to them and you kind of root for them, which is weird. Like, why would you be rooting for like these demons? I don't know. They're mischievous, they're quirky, they're fun. They're downright fun. So one thing that I really love about this movie, though, one of my favorite things about Wendell and Wild, is the representation on screen. And I don't just mean the black lead actors, which I think is phenomenal. And I think it's very important that everyone is able to see themselves on screen. There is actually a trans student at the all-girls school. So you notice it's an all-girls school. They mention that. And then you see that there's a male there. And it's like, Okay. And then they mention a few times that this is a trans student. The mother, who is very supportive, which I love to see a supporting and loving parent, corrects someone when they say your daughter. She says, like, I have a son now. You know this. Raul is his name. His friends accidentally call him by the wrong name at one point. They immediately apologize. They're very accepting of him. And he actually ended up being one of my standout favorite characters. He's a lot of fun, and he's a great counterpart to Kat. I'll put it that way. So, of course, you've got stunning visuals. It's hilarious. You've got an interesting story. The biggest issue here really, truly is just how convoluted it gets and how that slows things down, unfortunately. But overall, I give Wendell and Wild a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a great kickoff for spooky season. It is a bit dark. It does deal with some heavy things. So maybe younger kids, like maybe less than 8, think about it. But, you know, parents know their own kids. I let my kids watch stuff. I probably would let my kids watch this when they're like 6. They'd be entertained. But my kids have seen a whole lot of stuff, as you guys know. So, but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on Wendell and Wild. Are you looking forward to it? If by the time you got to this review, you've already seen it, let me know what you thought down below in the comments. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more videos like this one. You guys can follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm at MamasGeeky over there. You can also check me out at MamasGeeky.com and check out Wendell and Wild when it hits Netflix on October 28th. Thank you so much to all my monetary supporters, my members, and my Patreons. Love you guys.